going on? This is Steve, real estate agent with Keller Williams down here in the metro Atlanta area, checking in. So I have this brainchild, and I figure, you know what? Let's give birth to this brainchild in December before January, before everybody gets their whole, New Year's resolutions and everything like that. It's my brainchild. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to start a YouTube channel, and maybe twice or three times a week I'm just going to video blog about real estate. I've been in for about 3.5 years, all of them with Keller Williams. Most of that time with a team. Went solo earlier this year. There have been some ups, there have been some downs. Welcome to real estate. So I think that to me, I've drawn a lot of help and a lot of guidance from things like, and I'll throw out names, Pat Hyben's Real Estate Rockstars is a huge, if you're not listening to Pat Hyben's Real Estate Rockstars and you want to be a realtor, or you are a realtor and you're not listening to that podcast, you're doing yourself a severe disservice, especially if you're listening to like music in the car or sports talk or something like that. You need to listen to that. You need to listen to Real Estate Rockstars. Get some ideas for how you can improve your business. And it's completely free. David Hill has a great podcast as well called Path to Mastery. There's some other great ones out there as well that I listen to. Being on a team, learned a whole lot, obviously. Just being in the game, to this date, I've closed 70 transactions in the first 3 years. So, not one of those super renegades that you hear about that closes like 5,000 homes in their first year, but the average is 3.9. I think I'm comfortably over 3.9. It has been a great jump for me personally. I started out in sales. Before this, and even before that, I was actually an on-air weather guy. That's another story for another day. That being said, here I am just talking about real estate. So I figure, you know what? And in a way of kind of giving back, because a lot of those podcasts we talked about, they give back. Pat Hyben, obviously he gets a little something out of it because he's got his schools that he does, and David Hill does a coaching thing and whatever. And that's the thing about real estate is you have so many different revenue streams that you can build into and build off into going forward, which is one of the great reasons why real estate is such a cool thing. So I think for my first official video for the page, we're going to talk about the why you should be a realtor, why you shouldn't be a realtor, and so this doesn't get kind of drawn back or kind of drawn down and lame and whatever. We're gonna move very quickly. Why should you be a realtor? Why should you be in real estate? Why do I love being in real estate? Well, big thing is there's really no kind of barriers to getting into real estate. You don't have to go to school for 4 years. You can if you want, or you can go get your license, get your teeth kicked in for 4 years, make a little bit of money instead of paying somebody money. And in 4 years, you're going to be a renegade of a real estate agent if you know what you're doing. So that the fact that you don't have to have a degree is a great thing. You make your own hours, which is a good thing, and it's a bad thing. If you can't make your own hours, you are not going to last but 30 days, 45 days in real estate. You've got to segment your time. You have got to stick to a schedule. You have to lay it out. You're the boss, which is a good thing and bad thing, but you've got to stick to that schedule. You have to dig for new business every single day and take care of the existing business every single day, so on and so forth. And you have to do that, and you're the only one that's going to push you. Nobody in your office is going to push you. Your family's not going to push you. You have to push yourself. If you are not that person, real estate is not for you. Not everybody is that person, and there's nothing wrong with that. But do not have any misconceptions about getting into real estate thinking, oh, well, I'm not really good at holding myself accountable, but I think I could be okay because I watch HGTV all the time. Wrong. So there's that. Keep that in mind. You make your own hours. You're your own boss. That's a good thing. It could be a bad thing. You get to work from where you want to work from. I'm at my house now in my office. We came back. I'm recording this in December 2020, Corona year. Came to the home office in the middle of March. Went to the office every single day to make phone calls, and then went out to meet clients and preview houses and go on listing appointments, things like that. But in the middle of March, towards the end of March, came home just because of all the Corona stuff going on, and I never left just because The reality is, if you have a laptop and you have a cell phone, you can work. So we've actually gone on vacations where, my family lives in Florida, we stay in their house, kids play in the pool, wife's with the kids in the pool, and I'm on the laptop making phone calls, just like I'm at my office. Obviously, you can't go on a listing appointment, but now post Corona, with everything being able to be done over Zoom, there really are ways that you can do everything virtually. So, you don't necessarily have to be in an office anymore, which is a great thing. The bad thing about that is it's really cool being in an office. You get to bounce ideas off of people. Let's say you get an offer that's a little sideways, or you get a client that's a little sideways, and you need to bounce ideas off people. It's a lot easier to pop into somebody's office and say, "Hey, blank happened. What do you think?" Or just the camaraderie, things like that. But real estate offices are also notorious for just being a complete distraction if you're not prepared for it. So keep that in mind. It's kind of an up and down thing. The other great thing, and this is what I love about real estate versus my previous sales job I had, was there is no limit to the amount of income that you can make, especially at Keller Williams. Keller Williams, love working for Keller Williams. For 10 seconds, thought about maybe making a move to somewhere else. It lasted about 10 seconds and decided to stay at Keller Williams just because you can hang your license anywhere. Okay. And you can sell a house and you can do all that stuff, but you have to pick the broker that's actually going to support you and help you to become the realtor that you want to be. If you want to be a realtor that sells 6 homes a year because you're doing it part time because your husband works, and doing those 6 deals will just make you that little bit extra money that you want to make, God bless you. Go for it. If that's what you want to do, if that's the path that you want to take that path. Just know where you want to go. For me, I want to build a business. I want to build something big. I want to have a team. I want to go out and spread my wings and create something gigantic. I worked for a very good team previous to this, and he had those same aspirations. He had those same dreams, and began to take flight. And to me, I thought to myself that, you know what, I want to go out and I want to do this on my own. I want to build my team. And Keller Williams has that blueprint. If you're getting into real estate or you're thinking about getting into real estate, the very first purchase, and it's right there on my bookshelf, and I go grab it, but that would look completely lame if I reached across the camera and grabbed it. So The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, if you have not read it, read it. That is the real estate Bible at Keller Williams. Okay, Millionaire Real Estate Agent. That's the book to read, because that will help you to lay out the plans going forward. That'll help you lay out the plans for, when I get into real estate, what do I want to do? When I get into real estate, what are my steps I need to do? That lays it out from day one all the way through. You get through your 7 levels of size and team, whether it's just you, or you have your admin, or you have your buyer's agents, or you have so on and so forth. And then you get to level 7, where the whole thing is just rocking and rolling. If you have no idea what I mean, wonderful. Get the book, because you want to know what that means going forward. So there's some reasons why you want to be in real estate, because it really is unlimited potential. You can build something as big and gigantic as you want. There are some real estate teams that would make you cry if you looked at the numbers that they did. When we go to Mega Camp, we see the numbers that they do, and you just shake your head and think to yourself, how is that even humanly possible? But we have some amazing people within Keller Williams, really amazing realtors all over that are doing some amazing things. And we also, like I said, you have realtors that just want to do 6 deals a year and make a little bit extra money. Either one is good for me. All right, so there are some reasons or some rules as to why you probably should not get into real estate if you're thinking about it. The one thing, keep this in mind. And real estate is really kind of a mental thing. It's kind of a mental game, or a mental job. But that being said, you do have to look at the reality of the fact that when you first get into real estate, you don't know what you're doing. You have no idea what you're doing. I mean, you're going to have people tell you, do this, do that, do this, and that. And you could stumble into something really quick, and you could have a closing within 30, 45 days. That's very rare that happens. Is it possible? Absolutely. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not possible. But is it likely? Probably not, because you have no idea what you're doing, okay? Unless you join a team and they hand you something right out of the gate, which very rarely happens too. So that's something you have to keep in mind. So when you get into real estate, if you're doing this full-time versus part-time, if you're doing it full-time, you need to have some money in the bank, because it's going to be a minute before you get paid. You get paid at closing. You don't get paid anything until closing. That's going to take you a little bit of time. Okay. The great thing is once you go to closing, you get paid. Okay. But you don't get paid until closing. So keep that in mind. You got to have some money in the bank before you get into it, or you got to be prepared for what's going to happen. We always say that if you have a sales background, it's going to take you 3 months until you get your first sale or get to your first closing. If you don't have a sales background, it could take you up to 6. Keep that in mind. Don't let that be a limiting belief, though. For you, you get in there, you pound, you get your first closing as quickly as humanly possible, and there's no rules, there's nobody stopping you from doing that. I just want you to know what the game likely is and what things are likely going to happen as you go forward. Okay, so keep that in mind. The other thing is, and I said this about, if you're full time, you're not making any money anywhere else except through real estate. But if you're part time, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. You really need to devote full time work to this. You need to be a full time agent to really make it work. Part time agents, they're part-time agents, and you're not going to get to those levels. It's not like you're going to be in half of a level. I'd say you'd be maybe a quarter, if not less, than a full-time agent, just because there's so many things that you have to learn and so many things that you have to do. And if you do it part-time, you're just not learning those things. The other thing is, don't get into real estate if you don't have a plan. Talk to realtors. Talk to them and say, hey, if I get into real estate, first 30 days, what do I do? If I get into real estate, what's the best brokerage to get into? If I get into real estate, things like that. And then as you do that, and that book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, helps you kind of put your brain in perspective of where you need to be too. But talk to realtors, talk to people who are in the business. Get a game plan for it. Once I get in for the first 30 days, what is my business going to look like? Okay. The other thing is, and this kind of goes along with it, is you don't know how to do it. I'm always going to say, and this is going to be another video I'm going to shoot and post, is to talk about how, you need to join a team probably when you first come in. I joined a team. I was there for a while, probably there for a little bit longer than I should have been. I probably could have left earlier because I knew my stuff, but I didn't know my stuff when I got in. I needed to be on a team. The team taught me everything. They taught me, the ins and outs of the deals, the ins and outs of, the stuff that you learn in realtor school, and the stuff that you don't learn in realtor school, which is, the nuts and bolts of how to be a realtor and what happens when one of your clients goes a little nutty, or not that that's happened to me, things like that. So I just keep that in mind. You need to have a plan because you don't know what you're doing. And I will always say that, if you're first getting in, interview for some teams, and and I'm going to post videos about this stuff too. This is kind of an introductory video. And if you've made it this far, God bless you. Leave something in the comments that said, I made it this far, and I'll just give you a shout out in my next video. You know what? If you made it this far, God bless you. But being on a team, they're going to teach you so much. Just keep in mind when you're interviewing to go on teams, the thing that teams are looking for, a team can teach you everything as far as these are the scripts that you use to make phone calls. These are how you use the auto dialers. This is how, when you're on, get a contract, this is how you do this. We can teach you everything. Okay. But the thing that you want to concentrate on, and the thing that teams can't teach you, is that dog. Okay. As Eric Thomas likes to say, you got to have that dog. You've got to have that go get 'em, killer instinct, killer attitude. Rock and roll time. It's like when you close the door, turn on the AC/DC to make phone calls, it is go time. And there's nothing going to stop me from making my contacts today. I've got a board where I check off every time I hit a number. Like yesterday, I was a little behind going into yesterday, and I closed the door, locked the door. 40 contacts I needed yesterday, and I knocked them all out because I had a board and I visually looked at it, things like that, and nothing was going to stop me. Have that tenacity and show that in the interview that you do, that you have the tenacity, you're ready to get the heck after it when you get onto somebody's team. That's what people are looking for. You get taught everything else. You can't teach that dog, okay? You got to have that fire. So that's what you got to bring. So that's my first video. I don't know if it made sense or not. I don't know any of that. But what it means is, you need to know what you're getting into real estate wise, what you're getting into or not getting into, not real estate wise. My email address is in the show notes or the description below. If you ever have any questions about it, let me know. If you want to talk about should I get into real estate, things like that, let me know. We can talk about that too. Just trying to give back a little bit and talk a little real estate and start a YouTube page, and maybe one day I'll have 5 billion subscribers and I'll pass Dude Perfect. Probably not, but wouldn't that be cool? I'm Steve. Y'all take care. Bye.